What's up, YouTube? And I'm back. Today I'm into the Galaxy Z Flip. Ta-da! And the Galaxy Fold. Today, I just want to do a quick discussion on these two devices and the two very different roles I think each one is going to play in the future of foldable tech. Now, I've had the Fold since day one. I've had the Flip since day one. And I'm here looking at these devices, going through my day, trying to understand a certain thing here. Why is it that the Galaxy Flip is already wearing out its welcome to me? I enjoy the device, do not get me wrong, but there is just something about the Flip that, aside from the Flip, is a little boring. Not that it's bad, but the value of being able to do this, being able to flip the device closed, this little niche aspect of it starts to lose its enticement after a while. Again, not knocking the phone, but when I compare the Flip to the Fold, truthfully, I'm not sure it's a fair comparison, but when I do, the Fold just seems to be the better, I won't say form factor, because I think each form factor serves its own unique purpose, but this particular Fold, or this particular form factor, I can really see being way more useful and productive than this form factor. And I think that's the issue I'm having with the Flip. Whereas with my Fold, I can get everything done and do everything, and it really expanded and aided how I use my mobile device. The Flip is just a phone. A very nice phone that flips open and close and can have all these little perks and what have you. Things can move around, and it's so pretty the way it does everything. That's not even a lie. Some things just work well with this phone. But I really am beginning to, I guess, come down from that honeymoon phase of having a new device. And the Flip is really just becoming another everyday device. And I guess that's good and bad, simply because the foldable future that is upon us is in question by the masses right now. Why do we need them? Their durability, so many things. But people are used to having their phones just be like this, a slab. You throw it in your pocket, you take it out. Having foldable devices like the Flip show the masses that you can have a phone that, if you want, can change its form factor and be made a little smaller, fit in your pockets, and so on. It does appeal to quite a few people, more so than the Fold did, and I understand why. The Flip is your modern day smartphone that just happens to fold over on itself. And I think that's why particularly I'm getting, I guess, a little bored. I enjoy using the phone, but I kid you not, I've gone a good 2 days without touching it. I've never gone 2 days without touching the Fold. I've barely gone 2 days without touching my note, and that says a lot. That is saying something. And I'm not talking about price or anything like that. I'm talking about the case use for this device. What exactly does the Flip offer? I don't want to say any distinct uh, area of phone user, but a power user like myself, the Flip here falls in line with the weekend phone. A phone that you take out when you know you're not doing much. You just need a device on you. And if you happen to have one that happens to wow family and friends, because no, it's different. It's purple, a great shade of purple, has a nice color to it, has all these little bells and whistles. Yeah, so why not? Whereas the Fold, this is one that you can take everywhere and it will positively, again, start the conversation and be useful in almost every scenario you put it in. Not not say that I haven't made use of the Flip, but it's something about the form factor that just doesn't lend itself to being all that exciting to me after all of these days of use. I mean, if I had to choose the Flip or a standard mobile device, I would have to say I definitely choose the Flip for no all the reason that it's not your standard everyday device. It can fold, but that's it. Nothing more of the Flip really stands out to me. I think the best way to put it really is it's a S10, perhaps an S10 Plus with a folding form factor. And in all truth, the S10s weren't that interesting to me. The S20s aren't that interesting to me. I was never a fan of the S line to begin with. The only reason that this device even piqued my interest at all was the folding form factor. I was curious to see how Samsung would attack a different style of fold and how it would go against or how it would compare against Motorola's take with the Razr phone. Without question, the Flip is the better folding device, hands down. I've experienced them both, and the Flip just outperforms the Razr in every aspect except for the outside screen. But in all truth, the screen is fine. You're not made to do much on the outside screen. You scroll through a message, or if you want to show off, you take a little quick picture, and boom. But if you put these two devices together, and then you weigh your options as to which one would be more practical in everyday use, I might go with this guy, at least to me. First, first off, most people they want to talk about the price. The Fold, $2,000. At least it was. The Flip, $1,400, and it's new enough that I can safely say it's still $1,400. But if you want to get into the foldable space, you now really have to weigh the price of these phones, because you can buy a brand new Flip and have a form that pretty much conforms to everyday form factors. It opens into a 6 by 7 inch screen, I think, so something along those lines. So it opens up into what is essentially a regular cell phone these days, where the Fold opens up into a tablet sized device, giving all that extra room and real estate. When the Fold is closed, you have this outer screen where, despite what people say, is very usable. It's not meant to be your phone, but you can get everything done on the screen if you really want to. You close up this guy, and it just protects itself, which is good. You don't really need to worry about your inner screen getting damaged, because they are somewhat fragile, even with the bendable glass. But for the price that you're paying, you can actually get a Galaxy Fold for about $900 if you really look. And if you aren't, uh, or if you aren't too keen on, going even that route, there is a device called the Escobar Phone 2, which is essentially, actually not essentially, it is a Galaxy Fold that somehow Pablo Escobar's brother has been able to rename and resell under his own brand for between 400 and 550 bucks. So if you really wanted to get into this foldable space, you could get a Galaxy Fold with its 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of internal flash storage for sub 500 bucks. That's a lot of power in this device. So the price shouldn't really be an issue when between choosing these phones. The Fold, if you know where to look, will win. As far as use, this phone is more akin to your everyday phone once you open it. But truth be told, the act of opening this phone is the first time I can see where they say, you know what, there is that extra step to getting to your phone. It just doesn't really, flip open as easily as one would hope because it is a very strong hinge. And that's so it can take these little L-shaped form factors and tent modes and all of that and stay aloft by itself. I understand why, but it does make it that much more bothersome in certain scenarios to open the device. Whereas with the Fold, the hinge isn't nearly as strict, and you take that as you want, but it's easier to get into, and because you want to get to this screen for your large tablet screen, it doesn't feel like that an extra step. It feels like the initial step, like, oh, I have to unlock my phone or whatever. It seems like you need to open the phone. This one, because of how the form factor is, because when you open it, it's not a larger screen, it's not a tablet screen, it's just a regular phone in its design. Your mind tricks you in saying, I opened this device and all I got is this. A regular phone. I can just have a regular phone without having to take that extra step. And the step is somewhat cumbersome, but you can't really open this device with one hand, not too easily. And truthfully, I wouldn't recommend it because you do have to push on the glass with your nail or whatever the case might be. Now, is your nail going to damage it? Not likely. It is foldable glass. It's a bit more durable, but you do need to take that into account. Like the razor, you can just flip it open. This one, it takes a little bit more to get that flip right, and even so, to get your thumb or your finger in there to do it, it's just you feel like it's that extra bit of work. Not that you can do it. I've been doing it for a week, but I do understand, and I can agree with most other tech YouTubers when they say there's that extra step to getting into your phone that can be bothersome at times. But when you use a phone, you know what you're getting into. But at the same time, you know that you don't have to get into it because you can get something just as powerful with less cumbersome way to get into the phone. These other phones, you look at them, you press your fingerprint, and you're in. This extra step isn't there. The Fold, it does have it, but truth be told, you don't need to do it because the outside screen does allow you to do any quick things you might want to do. And people say it's not practical for everyday use. I beg to differ. The Fold is very practical for everyday use, especially if you have a lot of work you want to get done without having to carry two devices, a phone and a tablet, on you. So I'm not quite sure that these devices are evenly matched because some people are saying, "Oh, this is the better phone to get." Most people don't even like the Fold because it is an experiment. I will applaud Samsung for taking what they learned from this and applying it to a new form factor. But I do hope that they take what they learned from this and apply it to the Fold 2. Because I do feel that this type of form factor, going from a small phone-like device on the outside to a large workable tablet on the inside, is the better form factor to go with when it comes to foldable design. This here, the flips, I can see them being a little, I guess it's a niche product for certain fans, and that's understandable. I am one of them. But as it stands right now between the two devices, if cost isn't an issue, even if cost is an issue, I think you would really need to decide what are you getting the phone for. If it's just because you want something new, you aren't particularly a power user of these devices, then if you must have a foldable, I would go with the Flip. It really is just an everyday device, regardless of price, regardless of its ability to fold into a small, compact shape. Despite everything that they might say, the Flip really is just a flagship from last year. Once you get past the fact that it can fold into, there's not much difference between the Flip and the other phones. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And S10 is a great phone. The V50, all of those things, LG 8X, this thing is in line with those. It has the power, it has the specs, it has some tweaks to the software, but it is running the new Samsung software. But any of those devices, even some of these Chinese devices, as far as their use, this is you're getting those devices in a non-foldable form factor. So you would really need or want to have something that can fold to justify getting this phone. Now, as a daily driver can use it, yes, because it's just like any other phone. And I think that's the issue when it comes to the Flip. I mean, they don't advertise it as a powerhouse phone. They don't advertise that. They advertise as a fashion statement. And with that, they have got it down. This phone looks beautiful. But me personally, I need more than that. This is the phone I get just to have. It would really probably, actually, it does. I've used it, and truth be told, I always go back to the Fold and my Note. It's just a much better combination. And I know that this is the newer one, and all of the little things this phone can do, it just, for my use, it just doesn't really work for me as with my workload. It just doesn't. It's just a sad truth. As much as I liked this phone, this is one of those phones that gets bought and used only on occasion. And like my iPhone, it's just there, kind of. You pick it up every now and then because you know what, you don't want it to feel left out. Phones have feelings too. This shoot, this is better than an iPhone without question. But same thing. It just doesn't get the type of use out of it simply because there isn't enough there to distinguish it from my other devices. There's nothing there that makes it stand out and say, hey, use me for this. And all of my devices have their particular use. The Note is just a workhorse. The Fold, from phone to tablet, that large screen. Pixel for the camera. Razer for the games until I get another gaming phone. iPhone for iMessage and having a window into that walled garden, just in case they, pique my interest with something they might be doing. So every device has its use. a particular use that makes me say, well, you get kept because I get this from you. This guy just doesn't have that. I have a foldable device, so it being able to fold, not a keeper. Um, the power within is, I love the One UI 2. I love Android 10, but at the same time, I have two other devices with Android 10, and if the leaks are true, my Fold should be getting One UI 2.0 next month in April. So I do have a little ways to go before the software on this has caught up to the software on this, which doesn't really make much sense to me, because you would think that with their most expensive device, Samsung would actually do it the favor and push the updates, but they really haven't. I keep saying that. Yeah, but aside, like I said, the Flip just doesn't offer enough, and that's the problem. I love that it can fold, and truth be told, if it was a little less, I would consider just keeping it as a phone to have when I just want to bring something different along for a ride on a weekend. But as it stands now, with phones like the LG V50 supposedly coming out end of March, the what's it, Oppo Reno 3 that was just announced, the new Sony phone. I mean, all of these phones, not saying that they're better than this, but there's so much more to look forward to that you might want to just experiment with. I just can't see myself keeping this phone just for this form factor, especially not at the price that I paid for it. So with that, I mean, it's not a review. I was just thinking about it. With the Flip, I can say, if you just want to get into the foldable space and you want something akin to what you already have, it's not going to force you to alter and then adapt to it like this one does, then I would say by all means, guys, this thing is sexy. It's beautiful. It comes in purple, which is huge to me, and it doesn't force you to change. All you are going to have to do is open the phone, and that, like I said, gets a little annoying because you don't have that whoosh, flip open. But it is great. It feels great to flip people off. Just, you're done. That does feel good, but even that takes a little work because it doesn't slam as easily as the flip phones of old. Yeah, but that's just my thoughts on this foldable, the Flip, compared to the Fold. To flip or to fold, if that is the question, I fold. And the Flip, at least as it stands now, at its price now, I personally, it's just not for me. Not as a daily driver. This really is just a niche. Actually, niche is not even the word. A statement piece. This is the device. Yes, I have it. I'm going out to dinner. I don't need the powerhouse. I don't want to take the everyday slabs because boring. And iPhones just aren't really my thing. Wow, you pull out that fashion statement and you flip it open, and little work to do that, but that's what this is for. Well, with that said, yeah, foldables, they are here. There's no way around it. Foldables, one way or another, are the future of mobile devices, whether they unfold into a common form factor or they unfold in something completely different and usable. They're here. You can't get around that. So all of those who are saying foldables are not the future of mobile, you may want to rethink that, because without a doubt, being able to close up your device, whether for protection or in the case of the Fold, as a transformation from one device to the other. It's just the next logical step in mobile computing. Well, that's it. This is NG and foldables, the flip, the fold. This is what I'm into.